Well, construction Group 5 recently entered into a 1.4 billion rand partnership with the Zimbabwean National Roads Agency. It will focus on planning, design and construction of the first phase of a new road network for the country. Funding for the project is being supplied by the Development Bank of South Africa. I spoke to Themba Mosai, Managing Director of Intertoll, which is a Group 5 subsidiary.
Basically, this is a 70% owned special purpose vehicles owned by Zinara, and Group 5 owns about 30% of the special purpose vehicles. The reason why we put it together, it's probably the only way we could secure funding into this project to bring a formidable construction company like Group 5 to then work with the public sector, which is Zinara, and to put this together. So the aim of this then was to go to the DBSA and to loan about 206 million US, which now has been used to build the road between Mutare and Plumtree.
Just in terms of Group 5's, I suppose, further your establishment of your business in Zimbabwe right now. You haven't been in the country for some time, and now you've looked to establish a more permanent presence. So why the decision to return to Zimbabwe?
Well, it made sense. There was also an impetus from the South African government to go back to Zimbabwe. There was a lot of support from South Africa also to go to Zimbabwe. But it makes business sense. I mean, from a skills perspective, we were able to find good skills in Zimbabwe. We also are running an operations company, which is Intertoll, which I'm the managing director of. Intertoll will probably be in Zimbabwe for the next 20 years, looking after that road. We're building about 8 toll plazas in that road. So the opportunities were there, and we just had to take advantage of them.
You're not going to have the same e-toll issue that we had here in Gauteng?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
How are you structuring that?
There's good support for tolling in Zimbabwe, strangely, you know. I suppose it's because the benefits of tolling are quite evident. I mean, people have been driving in pothole-riddled roads, and all of a sudden, you know, the roads are fixed and people can see the exact benefit of tolling. So the support is very good.
Mm-hmm. Is this the first of many more investments? As you say, Intertoll is going to be operational, as you say, for the next 20 years or so. Is this the first of many other capital investments when it comes to, I suppose, building roads, building infrastructure for Group 5?
Group 5, I mean, it's a diversified construction company. So we do roads, we do mining, we're into housing, we're into tourism as well, you know, in terms of building those real estate facilities. We're into mining. So there's a lot of discussions going on where we're trying to get into other avenues. Opportunities are there, so we do believe that Group 5 will be staying in Zimbabwe for a long time to come.
But what are the challenges right now for you in terms of furthering your presence in the country, in terms of, I suppose, tapping into those opportunities? And we know they are vast when it comes to infrastructure needs.
I suppose one of the key challenges is the uncertainties around indigenization, and probably I think it's more of a misunderstanding of what indigenization aims to accomplish. So there's probably some discussions that needs to be had there where this could be clarified. But I mean, instead of looking at the challenges, the opportunities for me, I think the great thing about Zimbabwe is the accessibility that we are finding to the government officials, etc., which is a huge opportunity. And we are able to address quite a number of issues at the very senior tables, if you like, which, you know, in other countries would not be as easy to do. So before we pour money into it.
So how do you mitigate against the risk? I mean, how do you structure your involvement then right now?
South Africa Inc. South Africa has to go into any other African country as a whole, you know. We do rely a lot on our government as well to support us, to engage at government levels, so that the path, as it were, is moved for business. So I suppose that's how we address things. But I mean, it's I suppose it's opportunities, you know. So it's risk-reward issues. The risks are sometimes blown out of proportion. One needs to understand that. You need to have good local partnerships who understand the local environment, and then you are able to do business in that environment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned the skilled labor aspect, the fact that you had access to skilled labor as you needed it. And I suppose labour in South Africa and I suppose volatility in the labour market has been something that's really held back businesses here. But so far, do you feel that the operating environment right now in Zimbabwe is good? And do you think that it's conducive to further growth in the economy?
I would say the thinking is good. The direction is very good. Things are moving in a direction that we like. I mean, and coming back to the issue of labor involvement, we're sitting currently in Zimbabwe with about 98% of our labor being Zimbabwean citizens. It's easy to do that because the skills are there. People, I mean, the education system in Zimbabwe is really probably the best in SADC, definitely. So it's easier for us to get skills. It's easy for us to localize. It's easy for us to meet some of the objectives that the government wants to set because the skills are there. You know.
Do you need to look at the issue around access to capital? Is that something that being part of the greater Group 5 business has helped to mitigate in terms of some of the issues that domestic companies in Zimbabwe have to face?
Yeah. For instance, in this project, I mean, the good thing is that we were able to secure a debt from the DBSA, and also that is the DBSA has got its own mandate in terms of supporting Zimbabwe. So it the synergies were just there. So it becomes easier for us to then begin to spend our time and spend our money doing certain things when we know that we've got the guaranteed payment, and the DBSA angle was able to bring that through.